Hi everyone, how are you doing? How are you doing? It's Amanda. Today is the 18th of February 2021 and I wanted to pop on to see how you all are. Actually wanted to do a live today, which I am going to try and do quite soon, but I have got a new laptop and I haven't uploaded all the software and stuff that I need yet. So I really want to do that because I miss you actually. I really miss the interaction which you can have when you do lives. So I'll try and do a live, I think, once a month. But anyway, over and above that, I wanted to share that I have just done some meditation for about 40 minutes and I received some quite interesting imagery in it, which I think is worth sharing. And then I've pulled some cards from the Gaia Oracle by Toni, Carmine, Salerno, and they've sort of confirmed what was in the dream. So we're just going to go for it. Woke up this morning and I mean, there's just so much going on the whole time, isn't there? And there's so much that we can get distracted by as well. I'm not saying that it isn't important, some of the distractions that are out there at the moment, but ultimately the spiritual path, and if you're watching my channel, this is a spiritual channel, is about the inner work and about striving to have the best life that we possibly can in this incarnation, where we help ourselves but we also help others. So I am going to be focusing much more on this inner journeying that we all need to be doing, and the meditation that I've just had showed me how important it is to keep your eye and your attention and your energy focused on the goal. So my meditation started off by, I was just basically seeing a barley or a wheat field. In spring or summertime, the crop was full in the field and there was a gentle breeze that was just moving the crop. It was very, very peaceful, almost a meditation in itself, just imagining yourself in this field of barley. I'm hearing the song by Sting in my head now, Fields of Gold. So you could imagine it as fields of gold, but just, a simple crop with the wind just very gently rustling through it. And I know as I'm recording this that many of you in some parts of the world have got extreme weather going on. I guess people in Texas who are in blackout aren't even going to be able to see this until the power goes back on anyway, but extremes of temperature. But in my mind's eye, this was actually a very pleasant temperature, not too hot, not too cold, and just the beauty of nature moving this corn. And it was to do with flow. I've talked so much about flow on this channel and the importance of being in flow. And I so often use the analogy of water and waves. But this was the wind, the breeze, just moving through this beautiful crop. And just the wind was going where it needed to go. The breeze was moving the crop as it needed to move. And I thought, that's interesting. I don't know why I'm seeing that. And then I heard, and you've probably guessed it already maybe, I heard Field of Dreams. And I was like, of course, Field of Dreams, Field of Dreams. So yes, it's a nod to the film A Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner, which is, and then I heard, believe it and they shall come. And they could be anything, okay? They stand for the dream. Okay, whatever your dream is, whatever you're trying to get to, whatever you're trying to aspire to, whatever you wish to build, wherever you wish to be, whoever you wish to be with, build it and they will come, is in the film, the baseball pitch that he builds in, I think, the field of barley, doesn't he? And it makes no sense. And of course, he does it and he creates it. And then, of course, there are people from the past who show up in the film who've passed over. Those of you that follow me on Instagram know I've been doing a lot of deep inner work this week, linked into the ancestors, and I will be bringing through some material probably within the next month, hopefully no later than that, linked into helping you to heal your ancestral chain. But I'm not going to talk about that in this video, but it was just interesting that within the reminder of the film Field of Dreams, of course, there are people from the past who come back to celebrate the success of what the present day incarnation, i.e. you and me, have managed to build. So that was the first thing that I saw, and there are there's an obvious message there, which is that we have to be able to believe in what it is that we wish to build, what it is that we wish to do, where it is that we wish to be. And at the moment, in many parts of the world, that is feeling quite difficult to keep the dream alive because of the situation we have in our world with the pandemic. And I don't know where it is, how you're doing in your country, but here in the UK we are into the 3rd month of lockdown. I think there is a roadmap out of it potentially being talked about on Friday, but worst case scenario, we're looking at July before a lot of the pubs and restaurants reopen. Shops, I don't know when they would reopen. It's quite it's wearisome in the extreme. Everyone's feeling very tired and pummeled by it, and I'm sure not just in the UK but in many other countries as well. And it's as though dreams, the things that we really want to be doing with our lives, feel as though they are becoming more and more distant from us. It's almost like, well, when the hairdressers next reopens would be a start. That's like a dream. But, I'm actually being serious. It's sort of like, when the shop down the road can open, that feels like a dream. That feels like a far off dream at the moment. But yet these are things that, yes, they will happen. But it's like, what about our real dreams? What about the things that we truly came to this earth to build? We incarnated, each of us on this planet, for a reason, to build something. And that's going to be different for each of you. There are also soul contracts. There are people that you are still meant to be meeting. And it's just that everything's been put on a pause, but I'm being shown a dam, and you can't stop the dam, which eventually is going to burst. And this new life, the things that are meant to happen, are going to start to speed up again, probably from springtime. April, May is what I'm hearing. But until then, we've just got to keep our eye on the prize, what it is that we wish to be birthing in the second half of 2021. And it is difficult at the moment, and a lot of people are suffering from mental health issues, just mild sadness or depression. And when you start to experience that, a psychic attack can be another thing that's going on at the moment, or just feeling as though there's a heaviness over us. That's when it's crucial to keep that spark alive of the dream, okay, the goal. Believe it and they shall come. You've got to believe, you've really got to believe, and you've got to be hanging on to, I'm actually hearing that the miracle energy. It's interesting that the miracle energy is not something I often talk about, but I've heard it twice now in a couple of days. And I really do believe that we need to be holding out for that miracle energy to come in to our own individual lives. It doesn't mean we also don't have things to do to create the miracle, but also in our world. I was also shown, by the way, before I deviate, the whole pandemic energy, which does feel like this dark cloud over us. I did see it lifting. I did see it starting to lift. So that's brilliant. My meditation wasn't about the pandemic, so I didn't really want to go too far down that path today, but I just felt there's going to be a lifting, okay? And there is going to be a greater freedom that comes back. So, but you've got to keep your dreams alive. Right now is a time to keep the dreams alive. I also was shown, the second thing I was shown was, when you're driving on a motorway, and particularly maybe in at night time, where you should always be fixated on the road ahead, or in a snowstorm, but where you're really just fixated on the road ahead. It's almost as though there is nothing else is going on other than just being able to see the road ahead. and it almost becomes quite hypnotic. Okay, it just becomes quite hypnotic. It's just as though we're just putting one foot in front of the other. We're just riding through this section of our life at the moment, feeling sort of as though we haven't really got much control over it. It's just like we're having to keep going, basically. It's about having to keep going. And very much like that energy of driving the car, where it becomes very hypnotic, and it's like that's what I was seeing in my dream. But what was interesting was the road or the pathway, it was never ending, but equally it was also completely clear of clutter, completely clear of any obstacle. It was long, but actually I don't think that's a bad thing, because we have an eternal soul, so we never stop journeying. And this is the thing, that right now, wherever you are and whatever's going on in your life, I feel a lot of us are feeling as though everything's just on standstill. I can't necessarily do what I really want to be doing, or traveling where I really want to be going, or see who I really want to be seeing. But yet within that illusion of standstill, because it is an illusion at some level, from a soul perspective, your soul is just traveling on. Your soul is traveling on. Now, that's why it's important to keep the dream alive, to keep the goal of the destination alive. Because otherwise you don't know where you're basically heading, okay? You are making progress even though you feel as though you're not. Then a couple of other strange things happened in this dream. One was that there was an energy of almost like, you know, in the old films where somebody sort of gets tossed out of the car. It's like literally the door opens and you're shoved out, and then the car drives off. Well, I saw that. Okay, so that's for some of us, definitely. And again, that can feel like, oh my God, that sounds terrible. No, it didn't feel terrible at all. I feel as though Spirit was saying, we've taken you as far as we can. Metatron's chipping in now with regard to that particular part of your journey. And now it's almost like being in a pit stop energy. It's like now you're in a pit stop and you're actually waiting for the next energy to come in to propel you forward for the next part of your journey. But it was like some of us have been sort of turfed out of the car. We do have a rucksack on our back. I saw the rucksack, okay? And it's like you've got everything that you need. You just need to pause. It's the same thing. You need to just stay there for a little while. You'll be fine. We've got to travel on for whatever reason. This might be linked into certain people in your life that are not meant to be traveling on with you. Or it could be a certain thing that you're doing, or a job that you're doing, or a pattern that you're doing. And that pattern, or that, you know, whatever it is, that is just going to keep carrying on without you. But yet you're not meant to be part of that timeline, okay? Which is why you've been put on the roadside, awaiting, only temporary, awaiting the next bridge to the next timeline jump. Because the next thing I was shown was 2 parallel tram lines, basically, representing 2 different timelines. So for many of us, we have sort of been, when I say turfed off a timeline, that isn't Spirit being vicious or vindictive. It's actually something we've asked for. Metatron's saying it's a bit like, not that I recommend you ever do hitchhike, but it's like you've hitchhiked to a degree. It's got you to this particular junction with regard to your life and what you were meant to be doing with your life up to this point. But your higher self then said, actually, I want to jump into something else. I want a different life, basically. I want to be experiencing a different life. And so for those of us, again, one timeline just carries on, but those that have jumped off it, we're waiting. And then I saw the new timeline. And what was interesting about it was that it was like an old-fashioned country trail, okay, or a nature trail. And the earth was quite hard-baked, you know, it was as though it had been baked by the sun. So it gives me a nod towards summertime, that, you know, some of these changes are going to be coming in through the warmer months. And I'm talking from a UK perspective, so translate that into your part of the world. I'm talking from April, May, June, July onward, okay? The new timeline was shown as, like a country trail, hard-baked soil very, very deep grooves, really deep grooves. As well, okay, so because Metatron's saying it's because we've ploughed it for you, it's ready for you. Not that I am a farmer, but I would imagine what farmers do is they have to create the groove in the field, and then the seed gets put into the ground, okay? And then the sun comes, then the water comes, and then the plants bloom. So what Spirit has done is, for those of us that are wanting to jump effectively into a new timeline, a new type of life, or a new form of life, whatever that means to you, it's as though those furrows are already there. It's already been done. It's already been prepared. You are now at the stage where you're just literally at the side of the road looking at these furrows thinking, right, okay, so that's the next thing that I'm meant to be on. What am I supposed to do? Where's my car coming to sort of take me down this path? And it's like, no, you're just meant to walk it. And as you start to walk it, you're actually seeding this new reality. So I wanted to share that with you. And just, if it resonates, take it. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. The next part of the meditation that came through, again, sort of linked into this sort of field of dreams type energy in terms of having to hold on to what you truly want to manifest in 2021, because this is all about manifestation, really. And it's about remembering your power as a master manifester. Master manifester. You've got to be so careful that you are building something that is worthwhile, and equally it's what you want, okay? You don't want to wake up with the baseball, pitch in your backyard if you don't want a baseball pitch in your backyard, all right? So manifestation can work either way. We can pull things in that are not great, which you don't want to do, or you can be focusing on what you do want, which is positive, and that's the highest timeline available. So yeah, the next thing I was shown, I'm just going to say rainbow moon, just to remind me what this is all about. So I'd like you to imagine that whatever you wish to create, or wherever you wish to be, or whoever you wish to be with, etc., whatever the dream is, okay, I'd like you to imagine that it's here. And I'd like you to imagine that you're here. Okay, so you're here and the dream is there. And there's a bit of a gap in terms of, well, how do I get to this? Particularly, how do I get to this right now, in the midst of a world pandemic with all the problems that we've got going on? How the hell do I make this reality, okay? So you're here, the dream is there. I was shown a rainbow which connects you and the dream. Now, it's interesting also because last night I dreamt about, I woke up with the words rainbow moon resonating. I was just hearing rainbow moon. And let me come back to that. Let me just write that down because there's quite a lot going on here. So the technique, the practice is to imagine that you and the dream are already connected by this beautiful rainbow. I mean, in a way, you could say they are the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, or the job is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, or I don't know, whatever it is you want to be manifesting is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But it felt so much more than that, because this was very much an energetic, again, wave going between you and the thing or the person. And then this also flows back. It's going like that. It's like that. Okay. It's like this beautiful wave back and forth, back and forth. What can I feed to you today? What does the dream wish to sustain me with today? What can I feed you with today? What can the dream nourish in me today? What can it help me to feel today? There's a two-way communication between these 2 points of reference, you and the dream. And the thing that connects it is the rainbow energy. Now, the fact that we've got the moon over the top of it Now I need to show you some cards, because it sort of made sense when I pulled the cards, because I did feel it was a rainbow moon. But the thing about, I'll talk about that in a moment, but the thing about this rainbow is that it's a manifestation bridge is what I'm hearing. It's a manifestation bridge. And the other thing, of course, about the rainbow is you need both sun and rain to make the rainbow. So this is very, although it's very grounded. I know we're talking rainbows, but it's very grounded, because within this, the rain aspect of it represents maybe some difficulty, some challenge, some sort of restriction or pain that's causing a bit of sadness at the moment. But then the sunshine is the thing, is the bright hope. So it's a mixture of both. It's as though whatever you create, whatever the dream is that you create, is created through blood, sweat and tears, I'm hearing. But it's worth it. It's worth it. Okay? Right. Let me show you the cards that I pulled then. So we have just had, haven't we? I must admit, I'm losing track a little bit of the moons and what the hell is going on. We have just had a new moon. Let me just make sure what it was and what one we are now moving into. Ooh, we have had a new moon in Aquarius. Oh yes, of course, on the 11th. That was powerful, wasn't it? Okay. And when is the next full moon? Is on the 27th. Okay. So I feel between the 11th and the 27th of this month, a lot of what I'm saying at the moment is particularly potent. So the first card that comes up is the card of reflection. We've got two cards actually that feature the moon in this deck. Okay, we've got reflection and we've got the dream. Okay, it's like spirit really hammering the point home. So this first card, reflection, talks about illusion, self-examination and distortion. But this card talks about the dream. Something is revealed, insight and breakthrough. And it's almost as though this beautiful rainbow energy that connects you and your dream, whatever that is really highlighted by the energies of these two moons on the 11th and the 27th. And on one hand, the moon does what it does, which it can create distortion. It can create illusion in terms of making you feel as though what you're striving for is just a far off fantasy. Okay, it's never ever going to happen. But yet, look at these two cards, both which have got the moon in, and the one which has got the sharpest, brightest light coming from this moon is the one that's saying, no, believe in the dream is possible. What is actually this illusion that is being brought up and is absolutely real is just that, it is illusion. Now that doesn't mean that there isn't a process going on at the moment where you're really having to literally sift through and think about what is it that I really want. And I think this is coming up for all of us right now, also because of the state of the world, because I think as the blanket energy starts to lift a little bit in terms of pandemic, and we all start to be able to literally breathe a little bit more easier, without going into the whys and the wherefores of why it's happened and all the rest of it, I just see this blanket energy starting to get lighter. It's like, oh God, thank God, springtime, summer, light, all the rest of it. You know, life is coming back again. More freedom is coming back again. Well, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that? And it's something we need to be thinking about now, not when it's lifted and suddenly it's almost like it's not like when you're given permission to walk out of the gate, whatever the gate represents for you, and go to the dream, go and do whatever you've wanted to do. You know, think about it in terms of jobs. You know, at the moment, maybe there aren't any jobs. You're not even looking for jobs. All of a sudden, you know, say the miracle occurs and there are more jobs suddenly available, which there will be if hospitality starts to open up again and shops open and all the rest of it. And it's like, right, now, you know, firing gun, you know, get to it, go and get them, you know. But it's like, you can't be stumbling around. It's like, no, the preparation is now, you know. What type of work do you want to be doing? Where do you want to be? you know, you've got to keep these dreams alive. We have to keep these dreams alive. So it feels as though the 11th, the new moon in Aquarius, for whatever reason, and I can't even remember what I said in my last video about it, but what I'm feeling now is that it stirred a lot within us, but also it did bring up a bit of, for want of a better word, fog, okay? Fog. I mean, that's what the card looks like, fog. Not being able to see the way through it. It feels as though by the 27th we start to get a bit more clarity. That's probably also helped by the fact that Mercury then is not in retrograde as well. I think I'm correct in saying that. So we're going to be helped by the planets as well. So what else have we got going on? We also have got yin yang, working with the energy of balance. This is something we should be doing on a daily basis anyway, but whatever you need to be doing to get you into a better balanced state is what you need to be doing now. And, well, there are many different suggestions for that, but this is about creating harmony through balance. I rather love the fact that the yin-yang symbol on this particular lady, it's at her third eye and it's at her throat chakra. So it's very much to do with, I have a balanced outlook in terms of where I wish to be going, what my dream is. It's not ridiculous fantasy, but equally it is realistic, it's grounded. It's like a grounded vision. Does that make sense? That's what I'm feeling. It's balanced. It's been thought through from a head and heart perspective. Interesting I'm doing this. It's like, because we're constantly doing this at the moment as well. I know I am. I felt this morning actually, it's like I was thinking about problems, you know, that there are around. And I was like, you're all in your head, Amanda. You're all in your head. And I was just reminded, and how many times do we have to be reminded, myself included, to go back into your heart. As soon as I went back into my heart, it was like, it's fine. It's okay. You know? Love will find a way. What I mean by love is love in terms of what it is that you want, where you want to be. What do you love? Okay, love will find a way. Also balance at her throat chakra there. Needing to speak it into being. There's definitely something about needing to speak it into being, even if it's only you that are listening to it, okay? Because it's not just you that are only listening to it. This is the thing. Spirit is listening to everything. The universe is listening to everything. The universe knows your thoughts as well, you know, it knows what you're thinking. So again, if you're just focused on, oh my God, I can't, and it won't, and how can it, and it will never happen, and I can never do it, and it's never going to be possible. Whew, that's a nice little prescription to be, you know, handing up to upstairs, isn't it? You know, you want more of that, do you? Really? Okay, there we go. You know, so again, when we speak things into being, it's not just about vocalizing them to ourselves, whether that's through prayer, whether that's through affirmations, whether that's through journaling, whether obviously it's talking to a friend or it's just speaking out loud. I was speaking out loud to myself the other day, just walking by the beach, because I needed to get it out of my body to express what was coming up for healing with myself. But equally, it's also about what's going on up here. So it's to do with trying to create that balance between heart and mind. It's interesting actually. Let me just look, because this card also, I've got this card, which is the card of perception. And can you see it's lit up in the same two places? Third eye and throat chakra again. So there's a balancing needed here of the third eye and the throat. Something is rattling over there and it's really bugging me. I don't know what it is. Anyway, you see how easily I got distracted there. That's what we do. We take our eye off what we're doing. Okay, back to it. Third eye and throat. I think I need to actually bring in some chakra sprays here. Because sometimes it's like ignoring the blinking obvious, which is there are two chakras very clearly being shown here. So let's firstly go to the third eye. Tanzanite is the colour for the third eye. Beautiful Tanzanite. Let me spray this and let's see what how it feels or what message wants to come through. Ooh, some people's third eyes are really stuck. Really stuck. I'm being shown the third eye as a dial. And it's as though many of us, it's as though we're just dialed to a particular frequency. And we're dialed to the frequency of what we expect to happen. Okay? Based on past experiences. I want to do that. Okay? It can't be based on past experiences. We are entering a new era. We're entering a new energy where miracles are possible. You need to turn it to the miracle dial. You need to dial it to the miracle zone, is what I'm being shown. Now, the miracle zone isn't necessarily what you think the miracle is. Okay? That's the first thing to say. Miracles by nature are sometimes not what you expect them to be, not how you expect them to appear, not when you expect them to appear, etc. Because that's all ego. It has to look a certain way. It has to be, that's control. So there's an energy of surrender here as well. So I am being shown the third eye, which of course is a chakra, but I'm being shown it as an old-fashioned dial. A bit like one of those dials you get on a cooker, you know, or a boiler or something like that, or an old-fashioned radio, where you literally have to turn it to... I'm actually being shown a clock face now. I'm actually being shown number 11, of course, because it's Metatron, he likes his numbers. But, I mean, is that possible? You see, straight away, can you see what I just did? Is it possible? I've zoned out of the miracle zone. That is how easy it is to do it. We have to laugh at ourselves when we do that. The reason why I said that, and I do want to clarify this, Metatron, please, if I may, okay, is that what I was seeing is that some people's dial is so just focused on what's happened in the past, so blinkered, that they can't see anything else other than they're just expecting what's happened in the past, which sometimes is just more bad luck. It's just going to turn out wrong again. It's never worked in the past, so why is it not going to work now? So in terms of a dial, that person might be on number 2. So to ask them to now turn up to a number 11 is a bit steep, isn't it? He's saying anything is possible. He's saying anything is possible. He says he's saying you're talking about timeline jumps. Okay, he's saying there's no point jumping unless it's going to be a big jump. That's typical of Metatron. He's saying there's no point jumping unless it's a big jump. Okay. Okay, right. So you can go from 2 to 11. All right, okay. Where are most people on this dial? Because I don't think most people are on 2. You see, I was going to straight away thinking about people that are going to struggle the most. Where are most people? 5 or 6 is what he's saying. Most people are on 5 or 6. And that this is in terms of what they think is achievable or possible. And that energy of 5 or 6 is linked into worthiness. It's linked into self-love. It's linked into past experience, but equally a lot of people are healing traumas that have happened to them in the past, so they're able to turn the dial up more. But it doesn't matter, he's saying. Whatever the stories are, he's saying it's possible to move from dial 5 or 6 to number 11. We're getting into the miracle zone. Funnily enough, before I started this reading for you, I was listening to some music, and I've actually got tuning forks that are also tuned into the miracle frequency, which I'm pretty sure is 529. Let me just see if I've got it here. Was it 528? Hold on a minute. Meditative. Hold on a minute. Meditative Mind, I think, is the YouTube channel. Oh yeah, 528. Yeah, I was listening to one of his things. 528 hertz repairs DNA and brings positive transformation. I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying it's also known as the miracle tone. Let's see if I can just. This tuning fork is 528. Let me just tap it for you. Hold on a minute. Just need to get my rubber stopper sorted. Those of you that use tuning forks know what I'm going on about. Right. So, imagine that sound going into your third eye. Oh my God, guys, as soon as I did that, all this energy left via the back of my head. This clears a lot of stuff. Let's do it again. Hold on, let me just get a good bang, as it were. Not bang, you know what I mean. Okay, so working with the tone 528, you can watch the videos. 528 hertz. This one's called Repairs DNA and Brings Positive Transformation. Meditative Mind. Repairs DNA, Healing Code, Manifest Miracles, yeah. So we're being given that tone. What about if we put the tone with the colour? Oh yeah, let's do that. Hold on a minute. Let's just spray Tanzanite again. Because if you put colour and sound together, it amplifies everything. Okay. Right, let's just let that flow out to you. I'm just going to pull 2 more cards. Don't want this to be too long today. Lovely, okay. I should use them more actually. Don't use them enough. Okay, let's just have... Yeah, you see, because look, as well, beyond the veil of illusion. This is about illusion, beyond the veil of illusion. I honestly think by the end of February, we start to get a bit clearer in our own heads. The world starts to feel a little bit clearer. Which I know many would disagree with me, but there's no point focusing on all the negativity 24/7. It's just going to lower your energy. It's going to lower your energy. Field of dreams. Remember the wheat moving, the barley moving, the breeze, the sunshine, the ancestors that are trying to help. You were put on this earth to actually enjoy yourself, believe it or not. Right. Night wind. Yeah, I knew this card was going to come up. Having said... Okay, let me just tune into this before I show it to you. So having just said you were born on this earth to, enjoy yourself, you can only really do that if you face your fear and you release what's in your subconscious and you integrate your shadow, which is what this is. And interestingly, it says night wind in terms of, again, we're back to the breeze. We're back to those crops moving. The opening of the film, I'm sure it is. It's just the wind moving through the crop. We need to be releasing our fear and releasing what is within our subconscious, linked into shadow. This is going to be a theme for the whole year, by the way. Okay, so this isn't just for the next 10 days. And indeed, it's a lifetime's work to fully be able to look at everything that's within your subconscious and shadow energy. But let me just see what this card says. Card number 23. It's actually not a nod to sleep, interestingly. So I want to talk about sleep. How's your sleep been recently? Mine's never that great, but the thing I have noticed is that dreams are, well, to be honest, I can't wait to go to bed every night. I can't wait to go to bed every night because my dreams are just amazing, amazing. And by that, I just mean I'm getting information, pretty much every night. I'm remembering my dreams. Some really, really interesting stuff coming through. People from my past, people I think are going to be in my future, people that are in my present. I woke up this morning and I actually heard, I don't think I've got it quite right. It was actually my mother was standing asking somebody what indigenous tribe she comes from, because we found out we've got indigenous Native American blood or Canadian blood. And literally there was a spirit there and there was a blackboard and they'd written 3 names down on the board. One began with M, that's all I can remember. Another one began with I. And I woke up and I was really trying to remember the name and I couldn't, so I'll have to re-ask tonight, but it probably won't be quite as simple as that. But the point is, without blowing my own trumpet here, without blowing my own trumpet, I have been doing a lot of deep inner work recently, and particularly shadow work. Still got a lot to do, but I have been doing it. And I think that my dreams have got a lot clearer since I've been doing that. And they've been really positive. That without fail, they're positive dreams. So it's almost as though allow this cleansing, healing energy it's about clearing the mind, isn't it? So you can actually see through the illusion. You can get to the good stuff. That's what we want to. We want to get to the good stuff. Look at this card. That's what we want to get to, where our third eye is shining really quite brightly. We can really see the wood for the trees. But you have to have done the work. People always say, what is the work? How do you do the work? This is a real theme at the moment. How do you do it? It's about just sitting with it. It's about acknowledging it. It's about being it. If you feel sad, step into that sadness. What's it trying to teach you? If you feel angry, what is that about? Why are you feeling angry? Own it. Own your stuff. Journal it. Get outside. Go and walk it off. I do that a lot of the time. But I'm not saying it is as simple as that, but I'm not going to go into a great big video here about shadow work because that would be a video in itself. But yeah, we've got this coming up. I mean, it strikes me looking at these cards. Okay, we've got a nice bright shiny moon in this middle one, but this is like nighttime. This is dusk. This is shadow. But look at these. This is bright, bright sunlight. Bright, bright sunlight. That's what's coming in. But at the moment, we're all stumbling around a bit in the dark. But remember, even though if you do feel you're stumbling around in the dark, or you are at standstill, nothing's happening, things are happening beneath the surface. Remember that dream that I had? It's like we're all moving forward. The road is just, it's just like we're moving. Question is, are you just going to keep on, I'm hearing that song in my head, Road to Nowhere. Talking Heads, I think it was. Talking Heads. We're on a road to nowhere. No, that one, good song. So do you want to be on that road to nowhere? No, thank you. No, thank you. The never-ending road to nowhere? No. And that's the road where, I'm refusing to look at anything. I'm just staying in this zone. I'm keeping my dial on 1. I am not expressing anything. I am not listening to what my heart wants, but I'll just keep plodding on to the road to nowhere, okay? No. I don't know about you, but I'm asking, and I've already asked, to be dropped off at the next pit stop, okay? With my trusty rucksack, and I'll wait there for as long as I need to wait there until I find the strength, the courage, whatever it is that I need or you need. Put yourself in my shoes as well. To get up, start walking on that new furrowed earth. And the seeds are already there. Metatron does have a sense of humour because he's now showing me this, like walking down. It's almost like an energy of, okay, this is really interesting. I was about to use the word peasant, not in a negative way, but I was just being shown a peasant woman, which is actually a past life memory, a peasant woman walking down this furrowed earth, because this is the thing, our ancestors are with us as well. And I'm straight away feeling this humbling. it's almost like getting back to basics. Peasant isn't the right word anyway, but it's just, that's where the riches are. That's where the riches are. In being like the, I don't know what a positive word would be, just a woman of the earth who's just, because the thing is, she's there, I'm being shown this great big bag of seed. It's like I'm just there and I'm walking, but me, I am you in this scenario, okay? We are walking and we are barefoot and we've let go of all the trappings. I'm not all of the trappings, but you know, a lot of the nonsense that we don't need. And we've just got this beautiful bag of seed and we are putting it into the furrows, but equally there's some there for you, there's some there for you. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. Because the other lesson that's been coming up enormously over the last couple of weeks is non-attachment, okay? And again, that's a video in itself, but non-attachment to things and to people. Because how can you jump a timeline? How can you truly walk a new path if you're hanging on to all of the baubles from the old? It's true, isn't it? It's true. So again, those of you that follow me on Instagram, you know I lost my beautiful sapphire and diamond ring, my grandmother's ring. Or whether it was taken, who knows what happened to it. But anyway, the point is, it was a lesson in non-attachment. I don't need that ring to remind me of my grandparents. They're here within my heart. You don't need the baubles. The baubles might be very nice, thank you very much. And I'm not saying if it didn't suddenly arrive again in my house today or I found it under a cushion, I wouldn't be delighted. But I do know the lesson was non-attachment to the baubles. You know, at the end of the day, when you think about death, I'm talking about real death here, you can't take anything with you. You can't take your trappings, you can't take your baubles, you can't take your rings, none of it, it all gets left. Well, hopefully none of us are about to die, but we are rebirthing, and rebirthing requires setting down the old ways. Interesting, I've got that passage from the Bible. When I was a child, I spoke like a child, whatever it is. Oh, you know the passage. And then I put down earthly things. Let me just see if I can get the passage from the Bible. It's a beautiful, beautiful, one of my favourite passages of the Bible. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. Oh, it's 1 Corinthians 13:11. Oh my God, how beautiful. Hold on a minute. Let me just get the actual piece of writing up. When I was a child, I spoke as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. Yeah, we don't need a lot of the stuff that we've been carrying for this new path, because it's all actually within us. Look at the gold within. It's all within. Let me just finish by mentioning throat chakra, because I didn't do that earlier, I forgot, because we have got illuminated third eye and throat chakra. So let's just see. Aquamarine is the colour for the throat chakra. What do we want to say about the throat chakra, Metatron? Yeah, okay. Straight away I was feeling the power of silence. Interesting. But then he's talking about there's a time for silence and there's a time to speak up. It's a nod to that poem about the cycle of life, and there's a time and there's a season for everything. And in terms of the throat chakra, there are times in our life to be quiet and silent, and there are times to vocalize, but he's talking about it more just in terms of spiritual practice. There are times to go within and just listen. That's what he means by silence, to go within and just to listen. Also to sometimes not have to speak, to not have to say your piece. You don't always have to do that. There's a wisdom in silence sometimes. But equally there are times also where we need to speak up. But I'm talking here more about your own personal life, okay? Mastering the throat chakra, mastering the voice. In a world where many people just talk and talk and talk and talk and say very little, or talk and talk and talk and talk and do a great deal of harm, or talk and talk and talk and talk and give a lot of lies, or talk and talk and talk and talk and deceive. We also need a world, it's almost like I've got this master teacher coming through here, which is like the Christ energy of when you speak, allow your words to be holy tools of the divine, is what I'm hearing. If you regarded your voice and your words as holy tools of the divine, to seek to heal, not harm, to seek to bring in love, not hate, to seek to bring in reconciliation, not further separation. Not only would the world be a happier place, but you would be happier because that vibration would be living within you. It'd be living within your body, be expressed through the throat chakra. It's this thing about the throat chakra being holy. Just looking at this card now, which is purification, water. It says emotional cleansing and rejuvenation. I've been looking at that card actually. And it feels very linked into this throat chakra energy. The throat is a holy, sacred portal through which the divine speaks. Allow your higher self to speak. To bathe in the wisdom of your own higher self's voice. To bathe in the wisdom of the angels that can speak through you. But also to appreciate silence. There's a time and place for all of it. Can you feel the power of that silence? I can. Namaste. See you all very soon. Take care of yourselves and lots of love. Remember, field of dreams. Believe it and they shall come. You have to keep the dream alive. Much love. Bye.